Modern business is drowning in noise. To answer critical strategic questions, you need exact, reliable data. The core objective of business research is translating complex human behaviors into standardized, measurable variables. Researchers rely on two distinct data architectures. You measure subjective experiences by asking people directly, or analyze objective historical traces. Survey research is a bottom-up process, capturing what people perceive. Archival research is top-down, mining massive, pre-existing systems. Neither method is perfectly accurate alone. Both possess structural flaws that researchers must actively control. Let's look at survey architecture first. This is your primary tool for capturing internal states, opinions, attitudes, and future intentions. The strict engineering process of turning unobservable, abstract concepts into measurable questions is called operationalization. To do this successfully, you need measurement reliability, meaning your answers are consistent and stable. A single question is structurally too weak to measure an abstract concept accurately. This chart breaks down the measures researchers use. A single item measure relies on one indicator for a construct. Multi-item measures use multiple questions, preferred for abstract concepts like trust, satisfaction, or commitment. You also have to choose whether to build or borrow. Using an off-the-shelf measure gives you an existing, validated scale from previous research. Developing your own custom questions carries a high risk of poor validity. Survey reliability comes down to building mathematically stable measurement scales that resist human inconsistency. Even a well-built scale collapses if the specific questions are mechanically flawed. Double-barreled questions ask two things at once, while leading or loaded questions use heavy emotional language to push respondents toward a specific answer. If you include ambiguous phrasing, confusing double negatives, or industry jargon, you force respondents to guess. Their answers immediately become invalid. Then there is the psychological threat of response sets. When survey fatigue sets in, participants stop reading and start pattern matching. They might systematically agree with everything, systematically disagree, or resort to fence-sitting by choosing neutral answers repeatedly. You also have to account for social desirability bias. People naturally want to look professional and ethical, so they systematically underreport bad behaviors and overreport good ones. These biases multiply depending on how you recruit your participants. Strict probability panels yield highly representative data, but are incredibly expensive, forcing many researchers toward cheaper, non-probability convenience samples. One common shortcut is river sampling, which intercepts web traffic opportunistically. This introduces a severe risk of coverage bias, skewing your demographic profile. The most meticulously designed questionnaire is functionally useless if it is deployed to an unrepresentative, fatigued, or defensive sample population. To bypass human inconsistency and bias entirely, researchers must turn their attention to the macro-level scale of archival research. Archival data consists of existing, pre-recorded information. It comes from internal company databases, financial records, or external public reports. The statistical power of this architecture is massive. Large datasets allow for long-term time series analysis, and they offer a completely unobtrusive way to observe socially sensitive behaviors. But this methodology has a fatal flaw: the proxy problem. Because the data was collected for a different operational purpose, it's only an approximation, a proxy, of the actual research construct. You aren't measuring employee motivation directly. You're measuring HR absenteeism records, assuming they reflect motivation. Beyond the proxy issue, corporate systems are rife with reliability problems. You will encounter typographical errors from initial data entry, missing observations over time, and tracking gaps across subjects. You must also watch for deliberately fake observations, which is data fabricated by employees to meet operational quotas or hide poor performance from management. Archival data offers the illusion of absolute objectivity. Massive datasets often conceal profound systemic recording errors and misaligned proxies. Both the survey and archival methodologies ultimately serve the same goal, and both must pass two final, rigorous tests to be considered valid business intelligence. First is internal validity, your ability to prove a specific relationship by mathematically ruling out alternative explanations. To protect findings from extraneous noise, you must forcefully introduce control variables into your regression analysis. This mathematically accounts for outside factors that could skew the results. Second is external validity, which tests your ability to generalize the specific findings back out to the real-world population. In surveys, external validity collapses when response rates drop. To test for non-response bias, researchers compare early respondents to late respondents, treating those late replies as a stand-in for the people who never answered at all. Massive archival datasets also fail external validity tests if the exact origin and population of the data do not perfectly match your current research question. Actionable business truth is never found by simply asking a question or pulling a database. It is engineered by investigating data origins, selecting precise architectural proxies, and mathematically isolating the signal from the noise.